Well, to be honest, I need to start watching how much thickness I add to this, so it's just going to be some fun stars. Okay, I'm here for some more debulking of this book. A little debulking never hurt anything. And we're right at maximum thickness to slide it onto the shelf. And I've done nothing else to it from the last time, from the flip through. So now I'm just going to debulk on this end. I have a plan. I'm going to move the master board. I added my Godspeed to the master board. That's what's good about master boards. I'm sorry, dashboards, which was a master board, is you can keep adding bits to it to spice it up. I like that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this signature out. I'm going to cut these strings. There is nothing wrong with cutting this string. When you cut it, it's very long because this is a big book. Save it, you can sew together micro journals, little bitty things. You can sew them together on the sides. Here's one that's sewn together. It's great for that. You can sew things onto things with it. You don't necessarily have to sew in a signature, which is a large piece of string. So I'm just going to do this for a second. Then I'm going to grab my clamps and turn on the music. I also bought, where is it? I also bought this other gift bag because of this moon. I couldn't stand it. The first time I saw them before Christmas, it was gone just like that because I was too cheap to pay the $8.95. I know that's crazy for this tiny gift bag. But to me, it's like junk journal jewelry. And since this book is about the moon, I've got to have this in this book. Wouldn't that have been awful on the awful? Wouldn't this have been awesome on the front? Oh my gosh! But this, oh, I love this. Maybe somehow I can attach it to a black page. We'll see. We'll see, because that's a lot of fun. Maybe I could take the sewing machine with this still in here and sew to a point and sew that on and have a pocket. Then I won't be tempted to glue onto one of those pages. And then there's more horrible black acrylic paint pages back here. But I did turn them into pockets, so they ought to be extra sturdy because of the paint. Anyway, I want to put that in here. Yeah, just call me insane for spending that much money on one of these. Wouldn't it make a great belly band? Ooh, I am now thinking about a belly band. Or up under one of these things peeking out. Got to do something with that. Okay, what else did I need to do? But this definitely helped to reduce a little bit of that bulk in there. I don't know how, this is all I pulled out. Pulled that out, so I did something good. And I think I put my moons on backwards. I'm not liking that at all. I've been wanting to rip it out. And every time I look, I think I put my moons on backwards. Let me see. Let me get the book. If they're backwards, I'm just going to rip it out. Or cover it. Ooh, I know. There they are. No, the white part's on the right side. So I've got it on the right side. So I'm not going to rip it out. Yes, I've got the white areas on the correct side. So, okay. I kept thinking I did it backwards. Ooh, but I'm not thrilled about it. That would be fun somewhere. I like these symbols. I'll get into that later when I'm doing my full flip through. Maybe I need that down here on the side. That's fun. Don't like it right there though. Actually, I really like that. Okay, this is a big mess. This is what I've been working on mostly this month, other than the things that I'm also doing aside from my moon journal. And this has taken up quite a bit of time. I'm not complaining, but there's a lot of shorts. Almost all of these were presented as shorts, and they tell you a little bit more than I'm going to tell you today. I'm just basically going to go through half of this month's work that I've made for a collab. It's the Cabinet of Curiosity prompts, and it's actually up through day 17. And this is a collab where there are 31 old, most likely unused words no longer used. And you'll see why, because some of them you can't even pronounce them. But each day I made a piece, and I tried to stick with celestial for my moon journal. And now that my moon journal is too fat and going gator mouth, I have the companion journal here ready for me to reduce the number of pages in it so I can start using it for night sky stories and anything that's culturally relative that doesn't necessarily fit into the mathematical fact stuff, which some of you might think, Kelsey, that's interesting you call it that. But yeah, we're not going to go there right now. We're just going to look at these pieces. And I'm going to keep the list here just in case I need to refer to it. The first term was Somniate, so I made a little flip of book covers that I want to read. And I'm not even going to tell you what these books are. You can go watch the short if you want to see what they are. They're all people who I've mentioned in my moon journal. And the word was somniate, to dream or to make sleepy. So a to be read list is perfect for that, because if you want to get sleepy at night, read a boring book at bedtime. I get sleepy though when I'm not even reading something boring. The problem is I fight to stay awake, and I have insomnia left over from when I had back surgery. Long story about Lyme's disease. And it's a good thing I get sleepy, even though I don't want to go to sleep. I want to keep reading that piece of sci-fi fiction. So here, my second word was alopecoid. It's fox-like, and I printed out a card, which, yes, there's some bands on here, meaning my ink, one color of my inks is getting low, but that's okay. Like I said in the short, it's just for my journal. This is about the fox, the little fox constellation, and there's a little history of it on the back, so I can even write a little bit there if I need to. And the back of my paper clip, my giant paper clip, I can add something to that too. So yeah, I keep leaving myself little places to go and do things. My gallimaufry or gallimaufry word for jumble or confused mixture was the Hierophant in the tarot deck. And I put a little history of it right here. If you want to see what I had to say about that, why this word pertains to that, you can watch a short. Celestial epigrams are just interesting, thoughtful things that may surprise you, make you laugh. Maybe they're interesting, brief, maybe they're memorable. All these words up here work for that. So I made kind of like a giant cluster with a piece of paper and with stars behind it, and just glued it on my folder for Billy Carson and Federico Fagan's stuff. I can have one more side, I can do that too, but because the stars are brilliant and illuminating, sometimes these thoughts are. Then my banner tuck, I glued it in, so I have to show you. My banner tuck is right here. The word was Anisach or Anisak. It's strange, rare, and unusual for the number of the moon, and since I have a section in here on numerology and mathematical patterns, I went ahead and did the number for the moon to use up an offcut and just have a really cool piece. So my next one was mercurial. That's word number 6. It's characterized by rapid changing of mood, but I thought shiny, mercurial, silvery surface. And so I went for a mercurial bouquet, where this watering can, I cut a piece out of a box that had, I think, some perfume in it because of the ingredient list here. And then I just made some little They're like little paper clips. You cut them out and use them wherever you want them, but they're not real sturdy, so this thicker box cardstock was really good for that. And I put little strips of night sky like this stuff here in case a little stars showed up, it wouldn't matter. And I gave a nice little night sky stick to the mercurial word, so that's kind of like the sign in the bouquet, you know, you're to, from, whatever. And then I have my moon, so there's that piece. It'll be cool somewhere. Where am I going with this? Oh, here. I'm going the opposite direction, throwing pieces to the side. So this is 7, my little star dangle. I was working on my tassel, and I thought I could use a little star because this word asteriskos is a little star or an asterisk. And I made a tiny tag with a little star. Can you see that? And then another tiny tag, which is a little bigger, and that star kind of looks like an asterisk. I thought that was fun. I had this tag I made out of a code number from somewhere, and it looks old. It's not really old. I made it look old. And then, of course, the word is right there, so that's fun on my tassel. Then for word number 8, wood note, I went with a bird you would hear at night when you went outside to look at the moon. This bird makes an unusual call to a mate. It's looking for a mate. And it's a bird that I heard when I was a kid in Central Texas, living in Comanche, and go outside to hear these birds calling. That's a really cool thing. The back has little info on the bird, little stars in the sky, and room to write. I don't know where I'm putting all this stuff. Then I have my number 9 oxymoron, which is 2 contradictory words paired together, dark and light. You can look up why I chose that on the short if you want. Number 10 was synodic. I found this table for synodic periods, how the number of days it takes if you're standing on the horizon, looking off, see Mercury in the sky. At one point, it's the number of days that pass before Mercury gets back to that spot. So I've got the days for, and of course we're on Earth, so you can't watch that in the sky. So that's fun. It's blank on the back in case I need a place to write. Number 11 is mnesic. Think amnesic, but this is solely pertaining to memory. So I looked for the planet that was noted for memory, which is Mercury. It's the messenger. And I thought, you know, a messenger who can't remember won't be a messenger very long. So there's my mnesic word. Then number 12 was corvine for crow-like. And I immediately thought Corvus Corax. I always think of them. I've listened to them for decades. They're a German band, and they play these big instruments. I have never even looked up what they're called. But to me, they sound like insane, crazy bagpipes. And I love bagpipes too, but these guys are wearing crow masks. So they are crow-like. Then number 13 was thaumaturgy, for the working of wonders or miracles, magic. And I chose Ladyhawke because the magical point in that movie is when there's a total eclipse of the sun, thanks to the moon. Yeah, look up total eclipse, you'll like that. And then number 14 was the word foxing. Foxing is the yellow-brown aging discoloration around the edges of the pages of old books. Perfect for a journaling spot. And the back, I lost my mind and forgot to turn this over and just have the yellow side so I could write on both sides, but that's okay. Here's one of these little things you punch out. I glued 2 of these together, both of the non-shiny sides together, so I would get that shiny look on both sides, and it's just fun. It probably won't ever do anything. It's just there. I did it once, so I'll probably never think to do it again until I see it. Number 15 is a word that I don't think I can pronounce. Noctivagant. I think of navigation, and this just isn't rolling off my tongue like that. But this is an adjective meaning wandering at night, often birds or animals. It's about animal habits. And so I went nocturnal, and I chose Bigfoot. I don't know if you can see him down here. I tried to get him dark so he would have a silhouette. And this night sky is supposed to be sunset, shiny, orangey red. See? And he's standing there in front of the sunset. So I said a little bit more about that on my short. Number 16 was Shinriku. Now, I've heard that before, so I think it's Shinriku or Shinroku. It's a Japanese word for not wearing shoes and walking through a forest. It's like you actually get in there and there's a lot of electricity in it. You get a lot of energy from just doing that without wearing shoes because, you know, soles of shoes keep you from getting electrocuted when it's raining outside and there's a lot of lightning and, you know, you just want to wear shoes. Anyway, this sticker was from Temu and I thought it was perfect. Into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul. Shinroku is to take in the atmosphere of the forest. Ooh, in a forest, Beth, I love that. So that's a flip. I can do this when I glue it in. And the last word for up to today is lunation. For a lunar cycle, especially new or full moon. And here is my year's lunar cycle for 2026. So I thought I would just stick that on there because I'd already made this pocket. And it was absolutely perfect. This is actually, lunation is for day 21, but I switched it with day 17 because I had to. So everyone just throw rotten tomatoes at me. It's staying that way. So there's that. And I also wanted to show my tassel as best as possible. And then I'm going to finish this video up for my process video.